I'm Michelle Wu, and you're watching MiND TV. Did you know that MiND TV is on the cutting edge of television? What we're doing here hasn't been done before. We're going back to the true meaning of public television and putting the power in your hands. Where else can you make a 5-minute program and put it on TV? Where else can you use television to tell your story about the issues that are important to you? We're giving you the power to change minds, impact your community, and get your voice heard. Don't miss your opportunity to be a part of this media revolution.
Jazzy, you're gonna be healthy with the Jazzy vegetarian. Jazzy, so snazzy. We're gonna cook something healthy and back.
Buying produce locally is a great way to go green. Today, we'll visit my favorite farmers and prepare a quick recipe to celebrate local food. Right here at D'Italico, fantastic certified organic farms.
My mom and dad started this in 1976, really before the organic realm started. This is fresh cured garlic, and this will last for months. As soon as you take your first bite, you'll absolutely just appreciate the flavor of food without any kind of chemical or pesticides.
And we're just getting ready to talk with Joanna about the history of her family.
So my mother was actually born in the United States, right here in Warwick, but my father came over from the Netherlands, and my father bought property all around Warwick, different farms, and farmed for years and years. And then all my brothers went into farming. My brothers eventually bought a farm over on the other side of town, which was fruit farm. It was all orchards. They have peaches, nectarines, and apples, all sorts of apples. I mean, every variety.
We're here standing in the black dirt on Sherwogowski's fabulous farm.
Right next to the marigolds are nasturtiums, which are edible flowers.
That's
right
what
next
it is.
to them are okra. This is various types of okra growing here. This is the cut your own flower garden where CSA customers come in, and actually the cut your own herb garden is also part of this. You can come in and cut as much, or as sometimes for a recipe you only need a little snip of herbs. You can come down, snip that little bit of herbs, and you can get rosemary, lavender, sage, thyme, 5 kinds of oregano, 12 kinds of basil.
Ginger and John here with Tree-licious Orchards. Tell us a little bit about everything you have here, because this is just an amazing array of
We're
bounty.
picking a wide variety of fruit. We have something very unique right behind you. We have our donut peaches. It's a white special peach. It's only available 2 weeks of the year. This is a donut peach. It grows around the pit in the middle, and it's very sweet and intensely white flavor. We also have our apricots and our white peaches.
Right now we're going to one of my favorite places at the farmer's market, and that's to meet Rick and Nancy over at Breezy Maple Farm.
We've been very fortunate. We bought our farm 20 years ago. On average, the sap runs out of the tree at about 2% sugar. The syrup that Nancy just poured in all the syrups is 66% sugar. Now, the sole purpose of the sugar within the tree is to feed the leaf of the tree as it starts to bud out in the springtime. But it actually converts the sugar in the tree from a fructose to a sucrose.
Now for my quick dessert made from locally grown ingredients. I'm going to top some beautiful organic raspberries and blueberries with my delicious maple tofu whip. Take a little bit of vegan milk. Tonight I'm using almond milk because it's going to give it a little bit of an almondy taste. Then I'm just going to take about 1/3 of a block of tofu and just break it right in there. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's all going to become so creamy. Then about 2 tablespoons of organic maple syrup. Use as much as you like with that. A little touch of some delicious fresh vanilla. Oh my gosh, that smells so fabulous. Now, you don't have to use food coloring when you're coloring your food. And to give this a beautiful pink color, I'm just going to add a few of my organic raspberries into this whipped topping. That's all there is to it. We're going to put it into the blender. And we're going to let this blend until it becomes creamy. It really just tastes like whipped topping. And look at that beautiful berry color that we have.
Maple tofu whipped so light.
It is so delicious. You would never know there's not cream in here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to pour a little bit right over the top of our fruit. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Put a berry right on top. Serve it with a couple of little pastries, and there you have it. Fresh organic berries with maple tofu whip.
We're supporting the farmer, supporting our local farmer, and that's what Jazzy Vegetarian TV is all about. So please, the next time you shop, the next time you have the opportunity to buy some local produce, think about your farmer, because without the farmer, without the farm, there's no food for us. Jazzy Vegetarian TV, I love it.
More information is available by visiting jazzyvegetarian.com. This program was made possible in part by King's Cooking Studio. We're gonna cook something healthy and light. That's right.
Kimberton Whole Foods supports local food programming on MiND TV. With locations in Kimberton, Ottsville, Douglasville, and Downingtown, Kimberton Whole Foods promotes organic and biodynamic farming methods. More information is available at kimbertonwholefoods.com.
Factory farming is one of the largest industries in the United States. Every year, over 10 billion land animals are killed for food in this country. To protect their financial interests, factory farms keep their daily procedures out of public view. Undercover TV has acquired footage that will expose the truth about factory farming industry.
The life of a broiler chicken, a chicken raised and killed for meat, begins in a commercial hatchery. In large walk-in incubators, chicks hatch by the thousands. They never meet their mothers. The chicks are boxed in crates and then dumped in long warehouses with tens of thousands of other chicks. In the 1950s, it took 84 days to raise a 5-pound chicken. Because of genetic selection and growth-promoting drugs, it now takes an average of only 45 days. University of Arkansas researchers say if we grew as fast as a chicken, we'd weigh 349 pounds by age 2. On the factory farm, the chickens will never once step foot outdoors or breathe fresh air. Instead, they will become increasingly overcrowded as they grow at severely accelerated rates on an unnatural diet, including manure and the rendered remains of other chickens. A leading welfare problem caused by intensive genetic selection for fast growth is the high rate of leg disorders. According to research published in the Veterinary Record, more than 20% of broiler chickens suffer chronic pain as a result of bone disease. Some crippled chicks are unable to reach the water dispensers. Other chicks become trapped in the feeders, where they die of thirst. As the weeks pass and the chicks grow, open space in the shed decreases. A heavy blanket of dust from feathers, feed, and litter covers the equipment and hangs in the air. The pollution, feces, and filth inside the shed mix with the stench of ammonia, making the air unhealthy to breathe. It's not profitable to give chickens individualized veterinary care. Instead, they are left to die. After only 4 weeks, hundreds of birds are dead and their rotting bodies lie throughout the shed. Forced to have lived in their own waste, many of the corpses show signs of feather loss and burns on their stomachs from noxious ammonia. As the birds reach their last 2 weeks of life on the factory farm, welfare problems grow even more serious. Mentally, these chickens are still babies, but they're trapped in bodies too heavy for their legs to hold or their organs to support. As early as 6 weeks of age, the chickens have reached market weight and are ready to be taken to slaughter. They are typically rounded up in near total darkness when they are calmer and less resistant. The birds are caught by the legs and thrown into crates, which are stacked onto trucks. Many chickens are injured in this process, suffering dislocated hips, broken legs, and wings. The chickens are moved out of the trucks, dumped onto conveyors, and hung upside down in shackles. A machine cuts their throats, but some chickens miss the blades, and there are no laws regulating their welfare during slaughter. Those whose throats aren't slit drown in scalding tanks. Once dead, the chicken carcasses are defeathered, dismembered, and disemboweled. Nearly all of the chicken meat sold in American grocery stores and restaurants comes from chickens raised in the conditions we just witnessed.
It is important that members of the public are exposed to the realities of factory farming. With knowledge comes the privilege of making informed decisions.
My name's Josie Wilson, and I'm the facilitator for the Food and Farming Youth Group this year at Pioneers. Pioneers talks about a lot of different environmental and social justice issues, and this, I think, is really the apex of where social justice and food and farming are really starting to meet. It's a great group of youth, generally from urban inner city areas, that have a different slant on environmentalism and what it means to them. We're here at Janet Brown's farm, and this is really just to give them an introduction to this is what a farm is.
Knowing where your food comes from, shortening the distance food travels from field to table is an awfully simple thing to do, but it's something every human being can do.
Part of what this is giving kids skills that they can take back and really apply to what they need to start in their own communities. Once those pieces start to click for people, that's, I think, how you actually start creating that individual revolutionary change. From here, we'll move on to the Marin Farmers Market, so they'll get that next piece, that piece of once you've got your produce, once you've got whatever you've harvested, you bring that to the market, and this is how you sell it, and they're going to, take part in that. They're going to meet some vendors. They're going to do some shopping of their own. Then we'll be going to a youth center where they're actually going to prepare a kind of little banquet for themselves, a little grub dinner with Bryant Terry.
Well, today, when we talk about grub, we're talking about this term that my co-author Anna LePay and I use. We kind of reinvented the traditional meaning of it to mean local, sustainable, healthy food that's equitable, that everyone can have access to no matter what area code you live in. So instead of saying all that I just said, we just say grub. The best way to educate people about these issues and illustrate them is by providing people with good grub, by having fun doing it, and by bringing people together and building community like we're doing today.
I think the biggest issue is that even though there's an abundance of food, there's very limited access to good quality foods for people who don't have money. And I think it's a cultural thing. I go to Chinatown and it's like abundance of fruits and vegetables that cost nothing. Are they organic? I don't know.
We've always looked at agriculture and food as a keystone element of sustainability. What we realized was there's a lot of amazing projects going on all over the country. Groups from Los Angeles, Boston, New York, Oakland, Costa Rica. The whole idea is to create an opening so that the learning opportunity of Pioneers Conference for the Youth is expanded and made deeper.
In communities where I grew up back in Oakland, it's in California, it's a lot of communities where there aren't grocery stores, where there aren't people who knew how to grow food or what produce actually even is. Like, what are you supposed to do when you grow up in this environment? You grow up around McDonald's and Burger King and all this fast food and unhealthy stuff.
With food, it's kind of like, once you make that connection, you start to think about what's around you. So like, I live in an area in South Central LA that's mostly fast food and liquor stores now. So that makes me think about politics, and that makes me think about, how cities are planned. If you can go to a supermarket or spend a little bit of your time, minimal money, pennies, to grow your own food and eat your own food, even if you're not growing everything that you can eat, but at least you're supplementing some things, you know, you're winning. You're in a win-win situation. It makes sense environmentally, you know, money-wise, financially. It just makes more sense. If that can happen in a really big scale, in a big way, I think that will change the face of this country and the face of the planet and just how we do things.
Whether you know that you care about food or not, you know that preparing a meal and eating it together is a really powerful experience. We have to get the food in front of people. We have to get them tasting food that tastes different than what they're used to and talking about why it's different. Food is all about pleasure, so the rewards are so good. It's not hard to convince people once they've had a little taste and spent a little time.
The food justice movement is one of the most hopeful movements of this century, and it really can't happen without young people like yourself in the helm at the leadership. So thank you, keep doing what you're doing, and let's get our grub on.
Take your place in the world of video by becoming a member of MiND and attending one of our monthly video production workshops. You can learn about concept development, camera techniques, microphones, editing, and more. Sign up today by visiting mindtv.org/training.
Once upon a time, a group of citizens were looking for land.
The land would be farmed using organic methods.
The food would be sold
to local families,
with plenty left over to donate to families in need. Many educational programs would teach children and adults about the food they eat,
how to grow it,
how to cook it,
how to preserve it,
and more. Fortunately, the nonprofit College Settlement of Philadelphia invited the group to farm some of their land. Their 24 acres at the headwaters of the Pennypack watershed
is where the story of Pennypack Farm and Education Center began.
The land was an empty cornfield. Artificial pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers had been used heavily, and the soil was depleted. We wanted healthy soil and a healthy watershed. We wanted living organisms helping us grow our food. Natural soil amendments and compost were added, and now the soil produces this beautiful food.
Programs for training organic farmers are rare. In the summer of 2011, the farm will expand its farmer training program. The program specializes in natural growing methods and community farm management. In our farm intern programs, local and international students enjoy learning from us as we learn from them.
"600 families and businesses in a 10-mile radius from Horsham support Pennypack Farm. The farm is making this corner of the world a healthier place to live, giving local families a chance to be a part of a sustainable lifestyle in the suburbs of Philadelphia." Pennypack Farm and Education Center employs a full-time educator made possible through grants from the Cliniel and the Latner Foundations. In 2009, we had over 3,000 children participate in education programs at the farm. For some, it is the first time they have seen a live chicken or dug a carrot out of the soil. Our education programs aim to demonstrate the connection between nature and food. We are proud to offer education about farming and healthy eating to College Settlement summer campers and host tours from their outdoor school. We encourage them to appreciate and include vegetables in their daily diet.
We want students of all ages to gain an appreciation for where food comes from while discovering how important whole foods are for a healthy diet.
Food insecurity, a condition that exists when people lack sustainable physical or economic access to enough safe, nutritious, and socially acceptable food for a healthy and productive life.
Pennypack Farm participates in Clark Park Farmers Market, selling produce and fresh local foods to West Philadelphia families.
A percentage of our crops are designated for donation to Montgomery County food cupboards. The need for fresh food on the shelves of local food pantries is evident. Pennypack Farm is pleased to be in the unique position to provide families in need with healthy eating options. With increased funding and land availability, the farm will be able to expand our food security program, providing vital nutrition to families in need.
Maisie's Farm Conservation Center in Chester County was created to increase public understanding of the importance of conservation and ecological thinking. They offer internships, school programs, and a CSA, which stands for Community Supported Agriculture.
The way it works is families or individuals buy shares in the harvest, and then they come to the farm once a week during the season to pick up the produce that's just been harvested for them. That's the classic model. The shareholders get the best food they can possibly get, organically grown produce that's just been harvested. They get it at the best price possible, since there's no middleman involved or transportation costs attached. The basic philosophy, the basic principle of organic agriculture can be summed up in 3 words: grow healthy soil. The idea being that healthy soil grows healthy plants. Healthy plants resist pests and disease infestations and also grow healthy people, conveniently.
In conventional agriculture, monocropping or monocultures are common. This is where one crop dominates a large area of land, not allowing the important interactions between different species to take place. When disease or natural disaster strike, the problems become so great that they need drastic measures to keep them in control. In healthy soil, organic matter is working to keep disease in check.
Organic matter is things that are alive, or things that had been alive, or the waste of things that had been alive. And organic matter is where all the action takes place. And it's a huge amount of action going on down there. Soil scientists say that in 1 gram of average agricultural soil, there should be some 600 million bacteria of some 15,000 different species. And that's just the bacterial life forms. There's all sorts of fungal life forms and actinomycetes and microarthropods and protozoans and nematodes and the bigger guys that we can see like earthworms and grubs. And all those creatures down there are going about their lives, living their life cycles, eating each other, being consumed, excreting waste, dying, being recycled. It's what's called the soil food web. It's a really complex ecosystem about which we know very little that supports life on Earth.
Dig in. Does it feel warm? Because all those critters, when they're, when you work, you get hot. When they work, they get hot too.
How many zucchini do you think you get on a plant?
1, 2,
10 is a good guess, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So 250 times 10 2,500 vegetables might be harvested from what we just did right now.
There's tomatoes, peppers. There's a couple different kinds. There's a green pepper there.
Pepper.
There's they picked a couple things of broccoli.
Broccoli. I think we're gonna put this at the
Then we're gonna wash them and put them in a salad, and then we're gonna eat lunch. So good.
Vinaigrette. We've had lunch now, had a salad from plants in the garden, and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. They were organic, of course. And now there are some scraps. We've put them on the pile again, so to take the whole day full circle, so the kids understand that food comes from somewhere, and that the things that they don't eat, they go back somewhere too. They don't necessarily go in the garbage and then just go away. So we take it back here to the pile to demonstrate very visually, what's going to happen to this. So the scraps they don't eat will go back and help nourish other plants at some point. So hopefully this encourages kids to make their own piles at home.
My favorite part of the day was picking carrots and eating them.
We've got to understand that we are just a part of nature. We are not something standing above it. We are just one species that happens at this point to be dominating the planet, but we are still just a part of nature. We are all in it together.
All across the country, the number of suspected overdose deaths attributed to heroin or prescription painkillers is on the rise. Delaware state law now allows for family members, friends, or individuals with an addiction to be trained in a single 1-hour class on how to use the nasal spray commonly known as Narcan, an emergency medication that can help reverse the effects of an overdose. The free classes will be on a first-come, first-served basis, and registration is not required. The Narcan nasal spray kit costs $50, but there are also provisions for those who cannot afford it. For more information, call Brandywine Counseling at 302-504-5920. You can also visit www.helpisherede.com.